Well, we're going to start on our feet today. So whenever you're ready, you can stand on up. And I've been thinking about this transformation. I know I started to mention that in the chaos, there's opportunity to make some positive change. And that's sort of reflecting on the last couple of years. But even just if we look at the season of spring, which I think can be really inspiring if we want to connect with that energy and that shift that happens this time of year, that spring really shows us what it is to transform. And there's a lot of really beautiful shifts that are taking place outside, and just starting to witness like the buds starting to open and leaves starting to appear on the trees. And every time that I walk to the dog park with Max, there's more flowers that have popped up and color. So with that idea in mind, I wanted to start here in Tadasana, and just let yourself take a deep breath and settle into your feet. You can close your eyes and invite a spaciousness into your body. And as you breathe, take in this fresh spring air. Even though we're inside, the air around us, everything is connected here through the ether. So just taking in that fresh breath of spring air. And invite in a sense of openness. And once you start to feel settled here and open, we'll set an intention based around this idea of transformation. You can start by asking yourself the questions, asking yourself what you might see transforming this season. Just observing yourself. How do you see yourself starting to bloom and color and express? Allowing the breath to flow through naturally without having to change anything. What's really beautiful about these spring transitions and how that reflects on us, within us, is yes, there's an effort of pushing out of the ground, of pushing out of a bud, but it's so natural. It's what wants to happen. And so letting that natural element, the natural quality, show up in your breath and show up in how you transform. We don't have to pressure ourselves to be who we are. Just noticing all of the ways in which you're starting to shift and grow. Connecting to the roots under the feet, that foundation of the earth, and this place from which you draw up your nutrients. Where do you draw up the nutrients in your life? What nourishes you? And reaching gently through the crown of the head, maybe feel the body grow just an centimeter taller, right? Feeling that natural lift up to the crown, like you're reaching towards the sun, and just allowing whatever needs to come to you, whatever wants to come to you, to start to funnel in and be received here. Take note or observe if there's any areas that begin to get tense. So we hold the pose, just keeping your awareness here and a softness through the body. Becoming really anchored in that balance of effort and ease, being and becoming. And inhale and let your arms float overhead, like they really are just floating up. And eventually, when the hands get overhead, Urdhva just reaching straight up. It might seem like such a simple pose, but explore this posture of grounding into your heels and extending fully up through your arms. And exploring that space in between through the legs and the spine and the neck and the arms. Just breathe into that length. Take one more breath in. Connect the palms overhead, and as you exhale, let the hands float down to the heart with the thumbs resting at the sternum. Let yourself breathe naturally, connecting to your center. Begin to deepen your breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and we'll move into the wake-up routine. Starting to tap on K27, right below the collarbones and the hollows. Deepening the breath and waking up the body's energies. As you tap, let this be a way to connect with yourself this morning. To observe how you feel, where there might be stagnant energy. Observe what it feels like to begin to communicate in this way with the body and the energy and the cells. Continuing to take in those bright and fresh breaths of air. And with every exhale out the mouth, releasing any stagnant energy from the lungs or even in the emotional body, releasing any strong emotions here. Moving down to the center of the sternum for the thymus thump. Let's keep our immunity going strong. Finding a rhythm with your breath and with the tapping. A sort of gentleness, a kindness as you tap, so that it's not like hitting yourself, but it really is just this relationship with yourself. Let's go to the spleen points on the side body. You can tap around to the front of the ribs and back out to the sides. Take one more breath. Shake out the arms and the hands and tap lightly right underneath the eyes for the stomach points. Allowing us to ground deeply into the earth. Feel as if the legs, all the way from the knees down, are below the surface of the earth. From the knees down, feeling the coolness of the earth and how that supports you, maybe just a little bit more than just anchoring into the feet, really feeling that whole bottom part of the leg receive that earth energy. Giving more surface area even to draw up nutrients as you breathe in, and to ground as you exhale. Let's tap a little around the eyes, to the corners of the eyes and all around the eyebrows. And then ending at the corners of the eyes, tapping here. Breathe in, breathe out. Bend the knees. You can shake off the hands as you come into a gentle forward fold. So let yourself release really easily here. Generous bend in the knees, tapping the outside of the fourth toe to connect those gallbladder points. Take a few more deep breaths here. Then we'll trace, or rather scrub up liver. So if you're looking down at your big toe, on the outside of that big toe, the part that's closest to the outside of the body, we'll start with our fingers there and scrub in between the first and big toe, coming up the insides of the shins, the insides of the legs. Just drawing this energy up with your hands, coming up over the belly and flaring out over the ribs, and then come right underneath the breasts on the ribs and give a scrub here. Release the arms to your sides, Tadasana. You can unstick your feet and take a few breaths, marching in place. Same hand to thigh, same breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Stop, shake off the hands, and cross it over. Cross crawl, opposite hand to knee. Allowing yourself to find your own expression. And continuing with that intention today to naturally allow yourself to grow and expand and express, to transform in all of those ways, all of your ways. So whatever that means to you, maybe you move a little bigger today, take up a little more space. Maybe you visualize weaving a color all through your space today. Connecting with your own energy and starting to flow with that. Let's do one more breath. Slowing down the movement, ground the feet, bring the hands in front of the pubic bone, one over top the other, either on the body or in your field. You can close your eyes if you'd like and take a moment to set an intention for your Thursday. Allowing a word or a phrase to bubble up. Imagine holding that intention or that mantra under the hands and inhaling to zip up, drawing that straight up the central column, and then exhale, flip the palm and spread that out into your field. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, zip up, and expand that energy all out and around. 1 more time on your own. Middle finger to the belly button and to the third eye. Inhale and hook up, lift up. And exhale. Sealing it in, inhale. Breathe out. Connect to your breath, inhale. Exhale. Release your hands to your side, Tadasana. Turning your attention inwards. Notice how you feel. Good. Sweep your arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands to the heart. Then just bring the arms overhead, coming onto the top of the head, and just use all of your fingers to tap all around the head and the skull, the scalp, behind the ears, maybe over temples, and just notice if you find any tender spots. You can give a little massage there or give a little extra tap to those tender areas. And bring your fingers to the temples and give a massage here. Just rub around a little circle. And trace behind the ears 3 times, running down the neck. On the third one, let the hands hang on the shoulders. Give it a little squeeze and breathe in tight. Exhale, let the hands land over the heart. Connecting to your pulse, to your heartbeat. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Celtic weave, just coming down the front of the body here. Strengthening that outer layer of the aura. Inhale, arms come up and twist to the left. Celtic weave all through the left side space. Inhale, arms come up and twist to the right. Exhaling, Celtic weave. And then as you come through center, inhale, Celtic weave in an organic way, letting your hands move wherever they would like. Maybe you find some small figure eights or make them a little bigger. You can go behind the body or on any area that maybe is feeling a little sticky. Could use some love today. And when you feel complete, let the hands come to your side, Tadasana, and start to move into your yogic breath in and out through the nose. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Celtic weave as you come down into a forward fold. You can bend your knees generously, let the head hang. Option to rest hands on the mat or hold on to opposite elbows to ragdoll. Let's clear the gates of the hands and feet. Let's start with our feet. So you can use a finger and scrub in between the long bones of the toes, moving off in between each of the toes, right at the goalie. Finding any tender spots and helping to move that energy. Deep yogic breaths, occasionally breathing out through the mouth to help release. Then massaging each of the toes and pinching off at the very tip of each toe, like squeezing little tubes of toothpaste. Same thing with the hands. You can even rest your elbows on your thighs if it's more comfortable and massage along the long bones of the hands, pinching off in between each finger and the goalies. Take your time. Let it be an act of self-love and connection. And again, just noticing if you find any tender points. Massaging down each finger and pinching off at the very tip, helping move that meridian energy. Deep yogic breaths as you hang. Good. Shake off the hands. You can take a cleansing breath here if that feels good. And then let's trace up spleen as we rise. Fingers come to the inside of the big toe and sliding up the inseam of the legs, flaring out at the hips, up towards the shoulders, and down to the side body where we tapped earlier and give a massage. Release your arms by your sides. You can space your feet a little bit wider. Knocking on heaven's door. Let's begin to swing the arms around the body, tapping on the kidneys behind the back and around the outside of the arms. Gaining some momentum. Momentum has been a theme these last couple of weeks as we move into spring, day by day. Gaining a little momentum so that we can flow and start to feel that culmination of our efforts coming together, giving us the strength and the movement that we need to flow forward. Now the hand that goes around the back continues to tap on the kidney, but let the hand that comes around the front tap around the upper arm on the bicep, or really more towards the shoulder. You can deepen your breath here. Let the whole body move together. And then let the arms start to float back down, tapping around the lower part of the arm and kidneys. And slow it down. Keep the feet a little wider as you come through a wide stance Tadasana. Inhale, cactus arms. So open up through your chest, elbows back. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, palms face out as you reach the arms forward. So from the side, we've got the butt sitting back, arms forward. And then inhale to stand, cactus arms, open your heart. Exhale, sitting the hips back, reach the arms forward, palms face out. Inhale, cactus. Exhale, sitting back, arms forward, extend the spine. Let's do that a few more times with the breath. Inhale, gentleness as you open. Exhale as you lengthen and sit back. Inhale, finding a peacefulness in your movement. The attitude in which we practice makes such a big difference. What are you infusing into the body as you move through these postures? Once more. Meet in this extended exhale, right? Arms out. And then reach the hands behind the back. Interlace fingers and come into a forward fold, straightening the legs, reaching arms overhead. Let the head hang. Deep yogic breaths opening through the shoulders, through the cervical spine. If a little movement feels good, feel free to take that, perhaps a sway. And bring the hands down to the lower back. You can bend your knees and start to massage or circle the hands around the Ming Man point, moving into the penetrating flow, right behind the belly button. Then lift up your head and your heart, coming into a gentle chair pose, and switch the direction of your circles. Then stand all the way up, slide the hands down towards the sacrum and then up and over the hips. Flip the palms a few times at the hip flexors. Inhale, slide the hands straight up the front of the body, over the mouth, and breathe out with 3 audible exhales. Land the hands over the heart. Take a moment here and turn inwards. Inhale, sweep arms overhead. Grab a hold of the left wrist for a side bend. Stay anchored into your legs. Remember, all the way from the knees down, grounded into the earth. Breathing into the rib cage, fanning open in between the ribs. Come through center and switch sides. Grab a hold of the right wrist. Give a little tug up and over. Keep the chest open, shoulders open. Try not to shy away if there's any discomfort here. Maybe you move out of the pose just a little bit, but keep that fullness of breath. And inhale, come through center. Exhale, step the feet wide, hands come to the heart, and sit down into Malasana. Lower your hips all the way down. If you need padding under the heels this morning, go ahead and roll up a blanket so that the heels can be grounded. And then once you've found your squat, lift up and out of the lower back. Lift up and out of the hips, extending your spine. Press into the hands, elbows into knees. Malasana is also known as garland pose, or translated to garland pose, for the way that the arms appear to hang around the neck like a garland. Let's find a twist, bringing your right hand down to the mat. Press that elbow or arm into the knee and inhale your left arm up to a twist. Just go to your extent. Circle your wrists a few times in one direction and the other direction. Flick each finger off the thumb and then all the fingers off the thumb a few times. Trace golden figure eights all through this left side space as you bring the left hand back down. Replace the left hand on the mat, pressing into the left knee. Right arm comes up. Circle the wrist. Switch directions. Flick each finger off your thumb and all the fingers off the thumb a few times. golden figure eights as you wash down through this right side space. Strengthen this area around you. And then when you get to the middle, let the head hang down. You can extend your arms forward, softening into Malasana. Breathing into the back body. Lift up the head and heart. Hands come to the center again, lifting the spine up and out of the hips. Okay, now we're going to hover the hands. You can bring the hands forward for a moment so we bring attention into the legs. And if you can, start to press into your heels. Lift up out of this squat. And then inhale, arms come out and overhead. Reach all the way up. Exhale, land the hands to the heart. Come into a gentle squat. Connecting heaven and earth. Inhale, left hand up, right hand down. Inhale, gentle squat. Exhale, switch sides. Find the pattern on your own, exhaling through center. And inhale to find that beautiful side stretch. Connecting one hand above and one hand below. Remember to not force the body into these stretches or postures. Consider that natural flow of energy, the natural expression, that natural being and becoming that doesn't require you to force. Just ask you to allow it to come through and to remove any obstacles that might be preventing you from coming into everything that you are this season. Good. Finish out the cycle. Balance out both sides. And then whenever you take your last stretch here, we'll dive that top hand all the way down, coming into a forward fold. You can parallel the outside edge of the feet, let yourself hang here for a moment, releasing the backs of the legs and let the spine get heavy. Heel toe your feet wide on your mat, so you come into a wide leg fold. And we'll take a side lunge, side to side. Try to keep your feet grounded and open up that inseam of the leg, walking from side to side. When you get to the back of your mat, turn into a low lunge. Lower the left knee. Keep the left hand on the ground. Inhale, right arm comes up. And circle the right arm back, down, forward, and overhead. I guess your front and back of the mat might be different than mine. So if we're opposite, that's okay. We'll switch sides here in a moment. Switch direction of your circles. And then inhale, lift that arm up towards the sky. Flick each finger off the thumb and all the fingers off the thumb. And weave your hand down, landing the elbow on top of the thigh. Gaze forward towards the front of towards the edge of your mat and tuck the back toe, lift the knee. Extended side angle, pivot the back heel down. Draw the tailbone towards that back heel as you lift the left arm up towards the sky. So we just don't want the butt sticking out here. We want to draw it in, drawing through the low belly, tailbone is drawing down. Turn the palm up, top palm turns up, and trace circles on the ceiling, keeping the wrist flexed. Switch those directions. And then let the fingertips dip back as far as you can, opening through the left shoulder and chest. Breathe into any stickiness here. Stabilize through the legs. Golden figure eights, tracing down with the hand until you frame the back foot. Let's walk around to the other side of the mat. So through your forward fold, coming into a low lunge on the other side. Drop the back knee. Right hand stays on the mat. Inhale, left arm comes up to twist. Draw big circles, back, down, forward, and overhead. Switch the direction of your circles. Your breath is your guide for the pace and rhythm of your movement. When the arm comes overhead, flick each finger off the thumb and flick all the fingers off the thumb a few times. Celtic weave with your arm until you come down with the elbow on the thigh and gaze forward towards the short edge of your mat. Tuck your back toe, lift the knee for extended side angle. Pop that back heel down. Draw the tailbone down towards the heel as you lift up the right arm. Lightly resting the elbow on the thigh. You don't want to dip into that shoulder or drop into the shoulder. In fact, you could even hover that. We stay really light here. Then turning the top palm facing up towards the sky like you're balancing a platter on your hand and tracing circles on the ceiling or maybe swirling at the clouds. Nice deep yogic breath. Switch direction of your circles, exploring the space in the shoulder, that space behind you. And the next time the fingers reach back, let that shoulder really pour open. Breathe. Celtic weave, come all the way down, framing the foot, and then we'll step back into downward dog from here. Let the head go, find the foundation through the hands, anchoring into the base of each finger, especially the index finger and the thumb. If it feels good, you can pedal your feet or just breathe into this shape. You can explore it any way you'd like. On your inhale, come forward to plank pose. Exhale back to downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. One more time, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower down to your mat. You can lower your knees if you'd like. Chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra. Anchor into the tops of the feet. Roll your shoulders back. We're going to hold it here for 3 breaths. Elbows hugging gently towards the ribs. Feel the tops of the feet meeting your mat in a smooth curve through your spine and neck. Triple warmer rock. Release the hands under the forehead as you let the head come down and rest on it like a pillow. Let your heels splay out to the side and rock your hips gently side to side. Belly pressing into the mat as you breathe. Pause the movement. Feel the length of your body and just let yourself rest here for a moment. Notice how you feel. Remind yourself of how you'd like to feel today. And if you're moving and breathing in a way that's in alignment with that intention. Just bring the hands back under the shoulders. We'll come into one more baby cobra. So anchoring down into the tops of the legs and feet. Inhale, lift your chest, breathe in. Exhale, release the head, press into the hands, coming into tabletop, and then child's pose. Space your knees wide, big toes together, and shift your hips back towards your heels. Keep the arms extended, elbows lifted, breathing belly into thighs. Inhale, come forward to tabletop, tuck your toes. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale your right leg to the sky. Bend your knee and open your hip. Imagine stacking the hips, and you can draw circles here with your right knee. Gazing under the right arm. Switch direction of your circles. Let yourself explore that space. Maybe you slow the movement down a bit so that you can really move in the full capacity of that hip joint and through the legs here. Then extend the right leg all the way out, three-legged dog. Exhale and step through between the hands into your lunge. Keep the back knee lifted. Press into the feet. Inhale, rise up with the arms. Crescent lunge. Find a twist here. Breathe in and lift up through the arms, and then exhale, twist to the right. Right hand goes back, left arm comes forward. You can imagine you're giving someone a big hug. Inhale, arms come up through center. Warrior two, pivot that back heel down, open the hips, and extend the arms out into a T. Gaze right over your middle fingers and steady yourself in your warrior posture. Remember those ways in which you're transforming, or maybe you just tune back into that question, what are the ways that you're transforming? How can you transform the challenges into strength and wisdom? How can you learn from that, and how can you grow from that? Let's find a peaceful warrior, a sort of surrendering as you inhale, lift up and back, paint the sky. Exhale and cartwheel your arms all the way down and step back into downward dog. Take a moment to reach through both heels, find this full expression of down dog. We'll go into the other side. Inhale, left leg lifts, bend the knee and open the hip. Circle through your left hip, drawing circles with the knee. Switch direction of your circles and explore that space. Three-legged dog, square off the hips, press out through the heel. Exhale, step through between the hands and find your runner's lunge. Press into the feet. Inhale, crescent lunge. Draw up the strength as you rise. Let shoulder blades draw down the back as you exhale. Inhale, reach up through pinky fingers. Exhale, twist to the left. Left arm back, right arm forward. Gaze is in the direction of the heart. To help find that balance, you can bend into the back knee, really press into the ball of the back foot. Breathe. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Pivot the back heel. Open up the hips and the arms and gaze right over the middle finger. Take that big exhale when you need it. Peaceful warrior, inhale, flip it up and back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, step back to downward dog. Tune into your breath, letting heels reach to their lowest point. Walk hands to feet, forward fold. Let's trace up spleen as we rise. Inhale from big toes, inseam of the legs. They're out at the hips, up to the shoulders, down to the side body, and give a little buzz. Settle into Tadasana. I'm going to move into our 5-element flow. So you might consider what cycles you're going through right now, or anything that might be causing you, a little stuckness, or just want a little support moving through some cycle of your life. And then inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Celtic weave as you come all the way down. Bend your knees and come into a low squat here. So hips come all the way down to your heels. Wrap one arm around the shin, the other hand in front to support for blowing out the candle, the element of water. Our sound is WHO. Inhale, look down. Exhale, look forward and blow it out. 2 more times. Finding your courage. You take your last breath here. Hands come to the mat. Lift your hips, forward fold. Expelling the venom, the element of wood. Our exhale, our sound on the exhale is SH. And helping to release or transform the anger, which can be so destabilizing, into action, into assertive action, courageous action. So let's draw up that junk from the garden on our yoga mat. Rip up those weeds or anything that you want to transform. And then inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, SH, as you throw it down. Bend in the knees as you take that fold. And then inhale, sweep it up and overhead again. Same thing. One more time. Inhale. Let's trace up spleen. Inhale. Exhale onto the side body, giving them a buzz. Hands by your side. Take a moment. We'll move into the element of fire, bringing down the flame, and helping to soothe any anxiety, and coming into more joy, finding that inspiration in what's to come, right? Not fearing what's to come, but just allowing ourselves to have a sort of trust and openness in ourselves as we move forward. We'll inhale, arms come overhead, fingertips tent together, HA, as you bring thumbs to the crown. Sweep the arms out and around, thumbs coming to the crown. I'm sorry, third eye. Inhale, arms come out and around, thumbs come to the heart. Sweeping the arms out and around, thumbs coming to the belly button. Flatten the hands on the low belly for your next couple of breaths, exhaling with that HA sound. And on your last one here, take your breath in, and as you exhale, slide the hands down and off the legs. Trace up spleen as you rise. Wrap the hands around the waist, around the rib cage for cradling the baby. Moving into the element of earth, and let the body rock gently side to side. The sound here is your Ujjayi breath, a slight constriction at the back of the throat, an oceanic sound in the breath. Feeding yourself all the love and compassion in this posture. See if you can smile for yourself here, just feeling that beautiful hug, that love that you receive here, just being really grateful for that self-love. And inhale and draw the arms up and overhead. Hold the breath in as you draw it down 4 times from the heavens, whatever it is you need. Exhale, slide the hands behind the ears. Inhale, arms come out to the side. Exhale, forward fold and step onto the palms of the hands. Inhale, straighten legs and arms. Exhale, soften and refold. Inhale, pull up from the hands, straighten arms and legs. Exhale, refold. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Release the hands from under the feet. Let's roll it up this time. So start to tumble the hands towards yourself as you roll all the way up. Let the hands tumble all the way overhead, and then split the arms and let that energy pour out and around and all through you as you come into Tadasana. Take a moment to ground the hands on the thighs. We'll move into the final element of our flow, metal element. The sound on our exhale is S. This will be a nice long breath out, drawing out that full exhale through a series of back bends to help us release, to let go, and to process any grief, transforming that grief into wisdom, into inspiration. Let's inhale, open the arms in a low back bend. Exhale, hug your arms around a tree, fingers almost touch. Inhale to the height of the heart, back bending. Exhale, hugging forward around the spine. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale with your S sound. Arms come overhead and slide down the back sides of the arms. Land the hands at the upper outer chest and take 2 more of these S breaths. Tadasana. Then close your eyes, turn your attention inwards, and just notice how you feel. Inhale, let the arms float overhead. Exhale, Celtic weave, come all the way down into a fold, bending the knees. Inhale and extend your spine halfway up, flat back. Exhale, refold. See if you can straighten the legs a little bit more in your forward fold. Then bend your knees, sitting all the way down to your mat and come into cobbler's pose. Yeah. Okay. Is she just dropping off the kids? What would you like to do? Do you want to close? Well, I was going to do a little bit on the back because we got started a little bit late, but I mean, if you wanted to like close our practice, we could come down or just rest here or even just like pause in a meditation. How do you feel? Well, I'll just hang out here for a moment. You can come back if you want, but I'm just going to continue to practice on my own if that's okay. That's okay. You can do whatever you need here. I'll be here. Tell her hi. We'll come down into cobbler's pose, the soles of the feet coming together. Just give a little massage into the arches of the feet here. You massage in between the big toe mound and the first toe at your K1. And then resting your fingers on the slope of the big toe mound, so right where the big toe mound starts to flow into the arch, rest your fingers there. And let your thumbs rest right behind the ankle bone. Kidney and spleen source points. We're just going to let the hands rest here lightly and turn your attention to any sensation underneath the fingers. You can let your eyes close and lean forward into this gentle yin-like stretch. Allow everything to become quiet so you can turn your attention to that pulse that might seem subtle at first, but perhaps strengthening, becoming stronger as you turn your attention in towards it. Pulse under the fingers. Let that pulse come to you. You don't have to press or do anything. Just give it your attention. You might notice the torso can fold a little more as you hold the pose. Just allow yourself to move into that space if it's there for you. Connect to your yogic breath in and out through the nose. And then press into your fingers to lift up the head and torso. Inhale, bring your hands to the outsides of the knees and draw them together, and we'll roll down to the back. Draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug, rocking side to side. Place the soles of the feet on the mat, hip distance apart and close to your backside for bridge pose. We'll flow the arms with our bridge. As you inhale, press into the feet, lift your hips, lift your arms, and stretch out the belly. Exhale, float the hands and hips down, synchronize. Do 4 more cycles. Inhale, lift the hips, extend the arms. Exhale and release. On your own, inhale. One more time. Pivot your feet to the outside of the mat and let the knees rest together. Bring your hands to the right hip crease and massage here. And we'll move in a massage around the belly, drawing a circle around the belly. So you can keep massaging over to the right waist, and then up towards xiphoid process, right underneath where the ribs come together, and over to the left waist, to the left hip crease, over to the right hip crease, and just make your way around in the circle again, massaging the belly as you go, and noticing if you find any knots or tender areas, and give an extra massage or love to that area that might feel tender. Help to move any stagnant, stuck energy. So you're listening to your body in this way, right? When you notice those sensations, you're turning into your body. Maybe you go a little deeper than the surface, right? Maybe in this last circle, just dig in a little deeper and notice where you might need a little extra massage. You can even pause in a point and just breathe into that. And then one more time, we'll come into our bridge pose. You can shake off the hands and heel toe your feet so that they're back under the knees. And inhale and just lift the hips this time, rolling onto the upper outer shoulders, and let this be like an exit ramp, releasing any of that junk or stuckness that we've broken loose through the massage and breath work. And lower the hips down. You can wiggle your hand, or if you have a block, you might place a block underneath of the sacrum here, or you can just make a triangle shape with the thumb and index finger around the sacrum. And lift the legs up towards the sky. It's okay if there's a little bend in the knees. Let's just find a little inversion. Let your breath be whatever it needs to be here. If any of those audible breaths in our 5-element flow felt really soothing to you, you can bring those back here. And let your legs move in any way that they would like, maybe pedaling the legs or the knees, like riding a bike, or splitting the legs wide. Let the feet come down to the mat. You can keep your knees bent. And wiggle the hands underneath of your hips so that the forearms are on the mat and you can press into your elbows. We're going to come into fish pose here. So extend your legs down the mat. Press into your forearms and into your elbows, coming onto the back crown of the head. Lifting your heart center, letting the chin drop back gently. Take a few smooth breaths here. Let the area of the throat open, all the channels of the throat. To release from the pose, press into your elbows, lifting head off the mat and come back down. And then bring your fingers, both peace fingers, to the center of your throat, the Adam's apple. Slide 2 fingers up towards the chin and 2 fingers down towards the throat, stretching out through the neck. Then move an inch to the right, right beside your trachea. Start at the center of the neck. And then stretch the fingers apart. 2 fingers up towards the jaw, 2 fingers down towards collarbone. Move an inch to the right and do that again, stretching the neck up and down. 1 more inch to the right, 1 more time here, tracing up and down, stretching. Come back to the center of the throat, right over the trachea, and stretch 2 fingers up towards the chin, 2 fingers down. Move an inch to the left, press in and stretch the fingers apart. An inch to the left, stretch the fingers apart. And 1 more time to the left, press in and stretch the fingers, stretch the neck apart. Let's come into our fish pose 1 more time. Wiggle those arms underneath of you, elbows underneath of you. Press into the forearms, lifting the center of the chest, rolling onto the back of the head. Let the chin drop back and open the throat for 3 breaths. Press into the forearms to release. Let the head come down. And pause for a moment in Shavasana. You can space your feet a little wider, turning the palms up. Maybe take a deep breath to release into the mat. And settling into your natural, smooth and quiet breath. Softening the eyes and the space between the eyes. Relaxing the space between the temples. Softening the cheeks and the jaw, and relaxing your tongue and your mouth. Let that soften through the throat and into the shoulders. Maybe you wiggle shoulder blades underneath of you, finding broadness across the chest. Breathe into the center of your heart. With every exhale, feel the backside of the heart softening down into the spine and into the mat. Breathe into the heart and soften into the heart. Breathe into the ribs and soften into the middle back. Breathe into the belly and soften into the low back. Breathe into the pelvis and soften down through the hips and the legs and all the way to the feet. Allow your next few breaths to penetrate through every cell of the body, harmoniously moving in and out of each and every cell. Inviting in a fresh, easy breath of air. Filtering through all your cells and releasing every little bit of that breath. Let's extend our arms overhead. Take that full body stretch, similar to how we started. when we stretched from feet down into the earth and arms overhead, take that full body stretch and find the spaciousness between heels and fingers, all through the legs, the spine, and the arms. You can let your head rock a little side to side as you bring in some organic movement, wiggling toes or fingers. And bend one knee and then the other. And roll over to your right side, pressing up gently into a cross-legged seat. Let yourself arrive in stillness, finding alignment through the spine. Bring your attention to the base of your spine. And then start to move the spine from the base, sort of like a blade of grass, gently waving in the wind. Sort of like making an S curve through the spine as you wave from the tailbone and let that wave start to ripple up through the middle back into the upper back, letting the shoulders sway up into the neck and the base of the head, letting the head sway. And bringing attention to the entirety of your spine. And start to slow down that movement again, making it more and more subtle. Finding your spine realigning in center until you come back into stillness. Maintain the awareness in the spine as you breathe, drawing energy up and down, illuminating the spine with your intention, with your attention. With so much awareness of the spine, maybe you can start to visualize a light, a glowing color radiating all around the spine, through the spine. And breathe into that energy. Let the body become as relaxed as possible, with no force in the posture, and easiness in the mind, no pressure. Let yourself be exactly as you are in this moment. And can you smile at yourself? With that big capital S, can you smile at the wholeness of yourself? Let's feel in our practice, bringing our hands to heart center, thumbs rest on the sternum in a gentle, humble bow through the chin. Closing our practice in gratitude, thanking yourself, thanking one another, thank you, thanking, sending gratitude out in any other direction that you would like this morning. Be thanking your clients, all those people that support you in all sorts of ways, your animals, your pets, your opportunities and the challenges too. Take our last breath together. Inhale, nice and full. And exhale, folding forward to seal it in. Namaste.